6:43 p.m. Friday, March 1st, 2024. I caught a ride into work today and had my dish shift. Got a ride to get some money, get the tags for the truck just in case, so it will be legally drivable. Got to the parts store, got the ball joint puller clamp tool rented, got ball joints, tie rod ends, and the second remaining sway bar link. The first sway bar link was actually replaced about 2 years ago, right before parking the vehicle, and it's got maybe 100 miles on it. Tie rod ends were extremely simple to replace. The sway bar link gave me a little grief, but then I ended up taking couldn't quite get it to line up, and what I did was I took the big floor jack underneath and put the claw hammer so the handle was right on the bent part of the sway bar, and I needed this part here to lift just a little, and I just lifted it like that till I get stuff in, get it started, loosen it, or let the jack down, tighten it is what I'm saying. Got that done. The goal is to get the ball joints done this weekend. I'm hoping to get new front tires as well. The issue is the money I pulled out ended up actually not being enough with the rental of the tool. It used to be a $75 rental, and now this thing is freaking $160 to rent, which you get all back when you return the whole thing. So I think I have everything that I need. I have arrangements made, gas money in advance for a ride tomorrow afternoon so I can go do the tire thing. I've got also 3 calipers that I didn't actually need to put on to the truck. I ended up actually being able to get the brake bleeders loose and replace them with new bleeders that I had bought separately just in case. So that means that I've got three caliper purchases plus the core on each of those. And then I have 1 caliper that I did have to replace that I've got a core to return. So hopefully would have enough money to get tires. The problem is I can't find the receipt. This was done in like October or November. They may have it on their system, and if not, I can't get the money back until I can find the receipt, which is probably stored in the center console of my car, which, by the way, I don't think I've mentioned yet, is in the shop until next Friday to get a new transmission put in. So yeah, that's a thing. So I was going to try and get to the car tonight, but the guy that was giving me the ride had his kid with him, and his wife was getting home soon, and I didn't want to cause too much stress. So I ended up kind of skipping out on that trip initially. It may screw me over the weekend. I may not be able to get that until Monday. But if that is the case, if I can get the ball joints done this weekend and get that part returned, the tool, then I will be close to having enough to get a cheap set of front tires just to have something to go on. I don't want to go too hard on this at this time. The goal is that I can make my dish shifts, if not a couple of delivery shifts with the truck before my car gets back, so that I don't completely lose out on any chance to make money this week. And if not otherwise, what it means is that any time that something happens to break down and I got the car stuck here on a stand or doing whatever for repairs, that I can take the truck then to get parts, or, need to use that as a backup spare in the meantime in the future. Hopefully that'll still be available. I've had to get, I've replaced all the brake lines on that truck with a few exceptions. There's maybe 6 foot of brake line that didn't get replaced. Everything else has been replaced. All new brake hoses. Took me a bit to get it bled out, but the bleeding went much simpler once I bought the battery for the truck, got it started, was able to run it. Splurged on a very expensive scanner that I was told I was going to need to bleed my ABS system, only to find out that my truck's ABS system is not compatible with the reader. It doesn't support, or the vehicle doesn't support that activity. So if anybody watching this in my area ends up doing a home repair or knows somebody else that is doing a DIY auto repair and they need the $400 unit to scan with to make changes or alterations, but they don't have it, they don't want to spend the money, mine will be available for rent at a very reasonable rate. I do plan on keeping that. I think it'll come in handy for other things, diagnosing misfires and other deeper things that the $100 basic unit that's this big that only reads codes and erases codes. The unit that I just bought allows me to go in and change my timing and my fuel ratios and things like that. So I'm going to be able to figure out specifically from this reader what this misfire is doing and what I need to do to correct it, because it does still have a little bit of a misfire. So anyways, yeah, brake lines, brake hoses, one new caliper, new pads on the front, new sway bar links, new tie rod ends, going to have new ball joints. And then eventually here, I also need to get new front half shaft axles for the 4x4. They are toast. They are completely bad. And there is no ability to use 4-wheel drive on it anyway. If I was to kick it into 4, basically these bad U-joints inside the thing clatter around and bind up and make the thing bounce. So, and I did take the truck for about about a half mile drive up the road, turned around and came back because I realized that I hadn't tightened the lugs completely. Like I had them on, but they weren't like, snug. So like any real trippage was definitely not going to happen. So then I got it back home, and boy, let me tell you, it was, and the steering was trash. And hopefully the steering's better now that I got new tie rod ends on it. That'll be a start. The ball joints are severely bad enough that I can't just drive it like it is. Be real honest, real perfectly honest. The state of the ball joints, tie rod ends, etc., all that front suspension, rolling gear work and everything that needed done 2.5 years ago. And at that time was when a certain delivery driver, coworker of mine at the time at Domino's, was trading in a vehicle he still owed $10,000 on for another vehicle that costs like $15,000. And altogether, what this ended up costing him monthly for just the car payment was like $500 plus insurance. And when it's financed, you got to have full coverage insurance. So he made poor financial decisions. He did stupid things. And as a result, was not able to make it on the money he was making, which caused him to then begin cherry picking and stealing runs from me and everyone else. To my detriment, especially because of the speed with which I was able to take my deliveries. It was almost always me coming in after he had stolen runs, leaving me then as the honest one, having to take what was left, which typically was some ghetto bullshit that doesn't tip. And the reason I say this like this is because he would come in and see, oh, well, these people that aren't my turn to take, that it looks like whoever's next up's got $30 in tips coming there. I'm going to take them. Now, that guy finally, about 3 months ago, got let go from Domino's for other things. They never got him on the stealing runs, even though they constantly caught him stealing runs. And I got a bone to pick with the owner of that franchise, not the people here in town, the dude away over yonder with his idiotic liberal fucking politics, thinking, oh, well, if somebody just drunk drives into our building and crushes a bunch of bricks and we have to get it repaired, let's not call the cops because we don't want people getting incarcerated unfairly. Meanwhile, you're letting a drunk driver continue to drunk drive around. You fucking moron. Libtard. But they finally got rid of this motherfucker, and now he's working for a different pizza place that contracts their pizza delivery drivers. They are not employees, they are contractors, and as such, they are commission only. So that's pretty funny. And my sincere prayer, if there is indeed a God, if there is indeed a God in heaven, paying attention, because I've seen things to make me think there might be, there probably is, but we're going to need some confirmation. If there is a God, and if there is any justice in this cosmos, everything I'm repairing on this truck that is right now being done are the things that his thievery prevented me from fixing 2.5 years ago, led to my heart palpitation, led to me having to walk out of a very lucrative job because nobody would do the same fucking right thing. And it was that or kill him. And that's still on the table, by the way. I pray sincerely, if there is a God, if there is any justice whatsoever, everything that I am now repairing on my truck must simultaneously fail on his vehicles. Because I believe he's got 2 again. And when I say that other thing is still on the table, if the shit hits the fan and I have to get home to get away from rioting or whatever, or martial law or whatever, it will 1000% be worth the Boogaloo side quest to go find him, murder him, and then come out here and continue on about my life in total freedom, absent society. When the shit hits the fan, I'm not saying, oh, I'm going to go hunting for that dude. No. If it gets to a point where in an emergency circumstance, I better get the fuck out of town and get out here and start preparing to homestead because things are collapsing, it will, no matter what the outcome, be worth hunting him down and dispatching him. This is why I always say it's really important not to screw me over, because you put me in a bad position. You put me in a spot where I'm at risk of losing my home. You put me in a spot where I'm unable to repair things that I should be able to take care of within the finances of the budget of the job that I'm working, kind of thing. Take me out of that position. Put me into extreme duress, struggle, suffering. And all it's going to do is give me enough time and clarity of mind to figure out the most painful way to hurt someone before they eventually expire. Now, I'm sorry for having to bring it all down and crazy like that. I'm sorry. But guess what? It's not my fault. It's that dude's fault. It's the other people. There's a guy last year I chose not to kill. Deserved it. 100% deserved it. 100%. But I had other things in my life that I needed to be here for. I had to choose peace. I will not, in the future, necessarily be in the position to have to choose peace. So remember that. Anybody watching this that knows me, you got somebody that spying on me and, oh, I'm watching this thing, whatever. Stealing from me is a clear sign that you love the idea of getting shot in the fucking face with a .44 Magnum. Have a great day, everybody. My weekend should be a lot of fun.